Hey guys, how you going? I'm probably going to upload this to YouTube and Instagram, if it's short enough for Instagram. It should be long enough for YouTube, but yeah, I'll try and keep it short though. I bought some lights that came out in the camp section. These two. Now, this one I thought would have been bright enough, but well, I didn't try it over the tank yet, but it didn't seem very bright. This is the one I thought would have been good enough, but it wasn't. This one I was skeptical about, but it's actually very bright. I'll have to get another one or two of these. I'll probably use these in my aquarium lighting in future. Well, I mean, unless I want it to actually be proper plant growth. I don't know how they'll go for that yet. Probably not good enough though, but yeah. So I'll just, so yeah, that's it. I'll just show you. So yeah, that's a pretty good difference. I'll probably put this one over here to help with the Anubias. I mean, it's a low light plant anyway, but if I can help it grow quicker, awesome. So yeah, you can mount this with a little screw, but given it's going to be sitting like that, I don't think that'll work since it's only one screw. But it has this double-sided tape on it and magnets, but the magnets won't do any good for this. So I will use the double-sided tape and hope that's strong enough to hold it. Failing that, I've got some more double-sided tape of my own that might be a bit better. I've also got duct tape I could try and put on, but the problem is it's got to go around this little bit and that bit, and it's not wide enough for the tape I have, but I can make it work. I also decided, because my nitrate levels are still pretty high in here, I tested everything yesterday, like even that one. I didn't bother with pH, no, I did do pH in the end. So yeah, that one was like 7.8, that was 7.4, and that's 7.4. They've been like that for ages. That had nothing, I think, for ammonia, nitrite, or nitrate. It was empty, which is good. That had a little bit of nitrate, I think, or ammonia. I think it was ammonia, had a little bit of. But it was like a really low level, so nothing to worry about, and it's only a yabby in there anyway. But there's no ammonia or nitrite, or very little at least. I'm pretty sure there's none, but nitrate's still pretty high. So one of the local pet stores, Aquabird, does have the actual filter media, same brand as the carbon and ammonia stuff I've got, but it's designed for nitrite and nitrate, so I'll have to get some of that, because this Anubias by itself isn't doing the job, at least not yet. That's why I decided to add some extra filtration in for now, just to try and filter the water as much as possible, because I think the reason I don't really have too many problems with this is because I've got about double the filtration I need on it. Maybe not quite double, but yeah. There's a good amount of filtration on it. Well, there's only one yabby in there, so it doesn't really have problems except algae. But yeah, there's still nitrate issues. Now you've probably been looking at that container at the top and the shark in it. Yeah, that's one of my biggest silver sharks. It got caught in the end of that aircraft carrier there, so I had to pull the whole thing out of the water to try and get to flop out, and it did, but I'm not sure if it was while it was stuck and it panicked, or if it was when it was coming out that it lost a bunch of scales. Yeah, not the best angle, but not a whole lot I can do. Except that. There you go. Yeah, I want to get some Melafix, but probably not going to happen this week. But it is starting to heal a little bit, except one spot I saw looked like it had hurt more while being in here. Fin keeps turning. So you can actually see it's lost a lot of its fin there, like the top fin, I mean. Oh, stupid thing. So yeah, it should all heal, given time, which is why I've separated it. I lost a bit of the tail too. Now the container, I got that idea off a YouTube channel called The King of DIY, where I get a lot of my ideas, pretty much all of them that aren't mine. He did it on a bigger scale. He did it for an Asian arowana when it got swim bladder. Yeah, I thought this is the quickest, cheapest, simplest way for me to separate it. I do want to make something else I saw of his though, a PVC divider. So I just have to go get some PVC, some suitable mesh, and then I'll just make a little divider so I can just separate about this much of the tank maybe, because I can move the aircraft carrier over more. So yeah, separate that much of the tank. That gives the shark a decent amount of room to move around. I mean, it might give it more than, might be closer to that, because I want it to have room to swim around. Just hope it doesn't end up hurting itself and anything else in there. What else was there? Oh, well, that driftwood's looking pretty good now. It's actually staying down pretty well. I think I've got the filter set so it's pushing the water onto it, so that might be helping. I just saw something else and I forgot. Oh yeah, on YouTube you just haven't seen my gouramis yet. I got this guy first. He was just a normal one. He was $9 at petstock. Then the other two were both 15. I got a dwarf flame gourami, and here we go, a dwarf pearl. Yeah, those two were $15. And they don't grow as big. They get to like 7 centimeters in the wild, so they don't get much bigger than that. But that normal one gets to like 15 centimeters. But those really are nothing compared to one of the another pet shop in town. It's a giant gourami. That's, well, what he's called it on the thing anyway. It is a monster fish. It's this white one. Probably 30 or 40 centimeters long, somewhere around 40. Yeah, it's just a monster. It's always nice to have a look at it when I go in. He's also got some stingrays there. Pretty expensive. I mean, it's not much more for the bigger one, so you might as well go for it if you're going to do it. Because I mean, yeah, it was like $1,300 for the decent sized one. That's, its disc is probably almost as big as, it'd probably be out to here, maybe over to there. So from there to there. Actually, I just remembered the other thing. I'm going to change the gravel in this for sand. I'm going to go to Clark Rubber, get their filter sands, because I've put it on the aquarium forums and Facebook pages and that. General consensus is filter sand from there is probably about your best option while still being relatively cheap. Because I think otherwise, if you want to get some really good stuff, you've got to spend a lot of money, which I don't want to do. So yeah, one bag should be enough to do this whole tank. It probably wouldn't be as thick of a layer as that, and I'll take the under gravel filter out because I think the sand would just go through it anyway. So the only reason to really keep it on would be if it would maybe work as like a sand waterfall, which would be kind of cool. And if you want to read about that, that's also off the King of DIY. I believe that would be it. Yeah, also, the overhead sump on that, some of my bristlenose fry I've ended up in here. I found 4 alive in the sump plus 1 dead, and then 1 more in the plumbing down near the power head. I mean, I knew snails could get through, and zebra danio fry can also survive it. Well, at least some of them can, because I had 2 get in there before, but I didn't have a net good enough then to catch them, so I ended up having to pour them into there, and I was able to see 1 for another day or 2, but then it disappeared. Obviously dead now, because it would be a decent size, it would be easily spotted. Alright then, I think that will be all for today, so don't know how long before I'll be posting on YouTube again. I post on Instagram mainly, so go check that out. It's QLD_aquarist, I think. I'm pretty sure that's it. So have a good one, and I'll see you then.